we were really one of the first to come out with what's called a loyalty program, or frequency card program. So in those days it was a stamp card, and bought 10, got the 11 for free. My real objective, however, was to aggregate data on consumers. And in 1995, people weren't really talking about data on consumers. Today, that's ubiquitous. So, what I did was I handed people a card, said, get 10 punches, you get a free one. But on the back of the card, you had to fill out your name and your address and so on. And when they turned them in, I would take those cards back to my little IBM PS2, which probably has less memory than my watch does today, and go enter that customer information into a database and start sending them other discounting methods like couponing and so on. That later became what we call our eWards program. It's all electronically based today, but that was an early out kind of program.
This video offers insights and inspiration on developing a prospect list, confirming who your target customer is, strategies to find and connect with new customers. So to launch or grow any business, you need customers. Think about it. Where does your new business come from? Friends, networking, websites, referrals, online business listings, email subscriptions. You may find new customers by simply being in the right place at the right time. Do you have all the new business you need? Are you making as much money as you can? If you aren't, chances are you need to focus more on finding customers. Try these 5 simple steps to find and connect with new customers. Develop a prospect list. Decide who your target customer is. Define the value of what you're selling. Create a communications package. And then, if you can, automate the whole process.
Our strategy is we have a list, we work a list. So we have a top 50 list of, plus or minus, 50 plus or minus, of specific prospects that we are reaching out to. We then, next to that, have more of a serendipity list. So every week we have a pipeline meeting, new business pipeline meeting, and we have a small group of the agency who's really interested in new business. That's the other thing. You want the people who are really passionate about selling and about new business to participate in that. So they come and we just talk about, I met this person, I made this contact, I heard this, I did this, and in that meeting, we link in with people, we try to reach out, set up lunches. We're trying to take active steps in the kind of serendipity meeting, just to take advantage of real-time contacts, people who might be looking for a small project, looking for something that we can help with. And that's often in our business how you make a first contact, is you're able to step in and help somebody out with something, and then you grow that relationship.
Develop a prospect list. You see, ideally, you want to be prospecting for customers who are already likely to buy from you. Try drawing your list from these resources first. Referrals. People your existing customers have contacted and suggested that they get in touch with you. This may be from a referral program you implement or simply word of mouth. Networks. People you've connected with personally at industry events, local events, or online via social networking. Website visitors. People who've shown an interest in your offerings by accessing your website and leaving contact data or opting into your newsletter. If you're using online methods to gather contacts, you want to create policies for data collection and use. Be mindful of privacy laws and regulations. Purchase lists. Selling direct to consumers? Well, you may purchase a list based on criteria like housing type, personal interest, or geography. If you're selling to other businesses, you may purchase a list based on business type, number of employees, titles, or the profession that typically buy your product. Data quality is always critical. If you purchase a list, look for a provider that offers both solid customer service and a guarantee. The last thing you want to do is risk your reputation by spamming or annoying people.
Our ideal client is someone that either is in the travel and tourism industry or nonprofit realm, but also someone that has the mindset of wanting to be progressive and do things in a way that we really feel that is our strength. That means listening to us. That means taking some advice. It means a little bit of give and take. And that's what we really look for. We really want clients that are going to be active in their projects. We want clients that are going to give us the freedom to be creative and use research and use analytics to their best advantage. That's really what we're looking to try to do.
Of course, before you can hone your prospect list, you'll need to work out what kind of person is most likely to buy from you. Or in other words, determine who your ideal customer is. Decide who your target customer is. As a business owner, you should be able to easily list at least 5 characteristics of your ideal customer. Are you a retailer selling high-end cycling gear direct to consumers? Well, if so, your ideal customer might be between the ages of 30 and 45, married, an outdoor enthusiast, active online, and lives within 60 miles of your retail store. Do you sell value-added food products to other businesses? Well, then your ideal customer might be a natural gourmet retailer, one who supports local products, with annual sales greater than $750,000, population of 150,000 within a 15-mile radius and within 500-mile radius of your processing facility. Having a hard time coming up with your list? Consider your top 5 to 10 customers. What do they have in common? The answer will help you profile your ideal customer. If you have a customer database, analyze it. Who's bought from you in the past? What do these customers have in common? Look for patterns and trends.
I had a mentor come to me and said, you really need to define what category of businesses you're going after. You can't just take all those things that come through the door. And I did. I said, well, we're going to do all businesses. We're going to do nonprofit work. We're going to do travel and tourism. We're going to do business to business. Really, over the next 6 months, as I began to think about it, I kind of thought that maybe they were right.
Now, if you're like most businesses, about 20% of your customers produce 80% of your sales. Mine your customer lists and take a look at who makes up this 20%. Study your customer's geography, find your customer niche, and know who your most profitable customers are. Now look for more like them. You see, focusing your efforts on who your prospective customers are and how they buy is half the battle in gaining new customers. So what's the other half? Well, it's providing potential customers with reasons to buy your product or services instead of your competitors. Every time your customer sees a communication from you, they should have a call to action incentive that encourages them to respond and eventually buy from you. A call to action will help convert a prospective customer into a sale. It might build a sense of urgency, encouraging the customer to act or miss out on the deal. Provide the customer an incentive to take action while you have their attention. Remember, if you're selling to another business, make sure your prospect has a budget, authority to buy, and a business need. Growing your customer base is a process. When you're selling to other businesses, know when to nurture a lead and when to discard them. Some potential customers will want and need more information and more attention before they buy. Others, when it is all said and done, may have no plans to buy at all.
It's not just the general population or men and women 18 to 64. You try to drill down, and you use research to do that. You use qualitative research in the form of interviews or focus groups. You use quantitative research in the form of surveys to understand the habits, the beliefs, the current behavior, the decision-making process. I'm big on decision-making process. You really want to understand what influences your audience groups or your target audience and how they make their decisions about whether to use your product, whether to recommend your product to somebody else, whether to, for us and the kind of work that we do, whether to change a behavior, seatbelt, wear a seatbelt or not, drive while having been drinking or not, put your phone in the back seat so that you're not tempted to text and drive at the same time, those kinds of behaviors. The more deeply we can understand what people are thinking when they're making that spur of the moment decision, the more able we are to influence them before they take an action.
Define the value of what you're selling. What benefits are you selling? Work out what problem your target audience has and how you can help them solve it. Finding a solution to a common problem is the way many successful businesses got their start. Listen to customer feedback. It's a great way to gather insights. Determine what makes your business unique. Help customers understand why they should buy from you and not your competitor. Find your customer niche. Use this information to naturally attract people with similar needs to your business.
When I look at marketing, I look less at delivery mechanisms, although I consider the idea that if I'm going to choose a delivery mechanism, that I'd like to dominate in that mechanism. So, I can't do everything, right? I can't do TV and radio and billboard sometimes when I first go to a marketplace, but maybe I could choose one of those medias and have some high degree of frequency and consistency in delivery of message. So my tactic is to not spread my marketing dollars like butter on toast, so that it has no effect on anybody, but rather to narrow down both in media delivery methods. So that could be Facebook or Twitter or outdoor or what have you, but also in geography. So about 70% of our people come in a pretty tight radius to that store. Since we know that, we really do rely on direct mail to sort of load into the household. Even if you don't necessarily use a coupon that we might deliver to you, we're definitely making an impression through your letterbox.
Create a communications package. Decide how to connect with your prospects. This can be a series of direct mailers, emails, social, or other digital ads. It could be your website, phone calls, or product demos. Just make sure from the recipient's point of view, your communications are relevant, feel personal, and are somewhat anticipated. Decide how you want to contact your prospects over time. Will you send them an introductory offer via email or do a direct mail? You want to build awareness, credibility, and trust with each communication. You can do this by delivering the right information at the right time. Communicating with customers and prospects on a regular basis will build awareness of your business and familiarity of your product. Use these communication efforts to clearly show your differentiator. Remember to include a final call to action on every communication.
The website is the first sales tool that anybody sees, when they come to are looking for TentCraft. So for us, having a very compelling website with making it very visual and allowing people to potentially visualize their brand on one of our products is very important. And then having a very clear and concise call to action on that site to get them in touch with one of our salespeople is paramount.
Automate it. So, once you've created your database and outlined your communications plan, explore if using a simple customer relationship management system is right for you. Experienced business owners say it takes 5 contacts with someone before they decide if they'll buy from you. So keep communicating. Keep them coming into your store, visiting you online, or talking to your sales team. Track your efforts, both in terms of process, how many touches did you make, and outcomes. How many of these prospects led to new customers? Automating the process will help.
I think it certainly helped with cash flow, and I think it certainly helped with keeping things more organized. It's hard to put a number on it just because, I've never been able to step back and look and say, but I know that we're closing more projects in a period of time than we would beforehand because we're not losing anything out of the shuffle. We have a funnel, we're putting them in their proper places, we're following up with them on the proper channels, and we're getting more projects that come through. Even clients that are repetitive clients that come to me and say, hey, I'm thinking about doing this project, we put that in there because sometimes it's just an idea that they might have had, but then if we can keep pushing that idea, it does that idea turns into a real project. So we're able to convert things that I think that might not have ever come to fruition if we didn't continue to push and remind.
Remember, to launch your business, you need to find customers. To grow your business, you have to consistently find and retain customers. So get to know who your ideal customer is and how to find them.
We realize the success of your business directly impacts the success of your community and its people. So we push a little harder and care a bit more because it's not profit for us, it's prosperity for all.